On American dealer lots, once desirable car brands now gather dust as buyers flee, and some dealerships will not even accept certain trade-ins. Models from Mini to Chevrolet are losing up to 65% of their value in just 3 years, while mysterious breakdowns and warranty nightmares wipe out household budgets. 10 names now face total market rejection. What happened behind closed doors to cause these icons to collapse so fast? The answer upends everything most people still believe about car shopping. Mini owners, drawn in by promises of British personality and compact luxury, often get their first real shock at the service desk. Routine maintenance that should cost a few $100s can balloon past $1,000, with 3-year-old models racking up bills that rival high-end German sedans. After the warranty expires, repairs to turbochargers, electronic modules, and even simple oil changes regularly exceed $1,500. The numbers don't lie. Mini's maintenance costs run more than 60% higher than mainstream competitors, and it is not just a one-time hit. Owners report a steady stream of warning lights and mysterious electronic failures, each demanding a trip back to the dealership. The pain doesn't end there. 3 years after rolling off the lot, a Mini is typically worth less than 40% of its original price. That's a steeper drop than almost any other brand in its class. And it is driving loyalists out the door. Service departments, once packed with repeat customers, now see owners vanish as soon as the warranty clock runs out. The resale market reflects that exodus. Dealers slash prices to move used Minis, and many refuse trades altogether, fearing the repair costs will outweigh any potential profit. Infiniti buyers face a different kind of sticker shock. Nissan's luxury division built its reputation on sporty sedans and bold styling, but recent years brought a wave of technical headaches. The Q50, once a rival to Lexus and BMW, now suffers chronic electrical issues that stump even factory-trained technicians. Owners describe weeks of diagnostic delays, with complex wiring and software gremlins, turning minor glitches into repairs that cost thousands of dollars. 3 years into ownership, a Q50 often sells for barely half its original price, and that is if a dealer will even take it. For both Mini and Infiniti, the message is clear. Choosing style over substance now comes with a price tag that keeps growing long after the first payment. The financial hit lands fast on the service invoice, at trade-in, and when scanning resale values that drop by the month. For families and commuters, these brands have turned from status symbols into household budget threats, fueling a new wave of buyer distrust across the industry. Chrysler owners are discovering what happens when a brand's footprint vanishes almost overnight. Since 2020, more than 30% of Chrysler dealerships have closed or dropped the brand, leaving entire regions without local service. For families who bought a Pacifica or the last few 300 sedans, basic repairs now mean driving hundreds of miles or waiting weeks for parts. With only 2 models left and foot traffic at a standstill, dealer networks are consolidating fast. The resale market has taken notice. 3-year-old Chryslers now lose up to 65% of their value, and buyers worry the brand could disappear entirely. Mitsubishi drivers face a different kind of isolation. Once a staple of affordable transportation, Mitsubishi's presence has faded to the point where many younger buyers don't even recognize the name. The dealer network has shrunk so much that routine maintenance can mean an hour-long drive, if you can find a shop at all. Inventory piles up on lots, with models like the Eclipse Cross sitting unsold for an average of 178 days. Dealers are openly avoiding Mitsubishi trade-ins, knowing that resale is nearly impossible. For anyone under 40, the brand is invisible, just another badge on a car nobody wants to inherit. Buick, once the aspirational choice for mainstream luxury, now faces a tidal wave of lease returns and a shrinking audience. The average Buick buyer is getting older each year, and younger drivers have all but abandoned the brand. Used Buicks are flooding the market with prices 30% below comparable luxury models. The Envision sits for over 217 days on dealer lots, and tariffs on units built in China only make things worse. Buyers under 50 rarely even consider Buick, leaving the brand with a glut of unsold cars and a future that looks more like a sunset than a comeback. Across these brands, the message is the same. When dealer networks shrink and brand images fade, owners are left stranded. Service deserts, plummeting resale, and a vanishing support system turn what once seemed like a safe bet into a risky gamble. The infrastructure that made these brands reliable choices is breaking down, and buyers are paying the price. Volkswagen's electric gamble is now a warning sign, parked in plain sight. The ID.4, once hyped as the future of affordable electric vehicles, now sits unsold for an average of 527 days, nearly a year and a half, on dealer lots across the country. Over 1,500 units linger with price tags near $50,000, untouched, while incentives pile up and interest fades. The message is hard to miss. When new models gather dust for over a year, something deeper is wrong than just a slow sales month. Dealers, stuck with floor plan costs and no buyers, quietly beg the factory to stop shipping more. The longer these cars sit, the more their value drops, and the harder it becomes to move even at a loss. Jeep tells a similar story, but with a different kind of pain. The Compass, once a volume leader, now averages more than 203 days of supply, with over 27,000 units clogging up showrooms and storage lots. Salesmen joke that the only thing moving faster than the SUVs is the warranty claims. Service departments are buried under electrical faults and transmission complaints, while replacement parts lag behind the flood of breakdowns. Owners who bought into the Jeep adventure now face endless warning lights and repeated trips to the shop. Dealers, overwhelmed by the backlog, are discounting heavily just to clear space, but even deep cuts cannot shake the stench of reliability failure. High day supply numbers are not just a curiosity for industry insiders. They are a red flag for anyone thinking about buying. When cars linger unsold for months or years, it signals a collapse in confidence that no cash rebate can fix. Dealers left holding the bag slash prices, dump inventory at auction, or refuse trade-ins altogether, knowing that every unsold car is a ticking financial time bomb. For buyers, a full lot is not a sign of plenty. It is a warning to run the other way. Ford, Nissan, and Chevrolet once inspired fierce loyalty. Now their transmissions inspire class actions and buyback threats. Ford's PowerShift saga is a masterclass in corporate denial. Owners of 2011 to 2016 Focus and Fiesta models complained of jerking, shuddering, and sudden loss of power, sometimes in the middle of traffic. Internal documents revealed executives overruled engineers who warned of high defect rates. By 2017, over 1.5 million cars were under legal scrutiny. Lawsuits forced Ford to pay out $35 million, extend warranties, and settle thousands of claims. But the damage stuck. Used Fords with PowerShift gearboxes now sell for thousands below book value, and even the F-150, once a resale king, sits unwanted as buyers fear more transmission headaches. Nissan's continuously variable transmission epidemic is even more brutal. The promise of smooth, efficient driving collapsed as owners reported shuddering, slipping, and outright failure, often before 80,000 miles. Repair bills routinely top $5,000, more than the car is worth. Class action lawsuits in federal court exposed internal data showing up to 30% failure rates within 5 years on core models like the Rogue and Altima. Nissan's response was to extend warranties and issue software updates. But for many, the only real solution is to dump the car before the warranty runs out. Dealers, well aware of the risk, now refuse late-model Nissan trade-ins unless they are desperate for inventory. Chevrolet's 8-speed automatic debacle is the final straw for many families. The 8L45 and 8L90, transmissions in Silverados, Sierras, and Camaros, developed the dreaded torque converter shudder, harsh 1-to-2 upshifts, and catastrophic pump failures, sometimes as early as 40,000 miles. Technical service bulletins called for repeated fluid flushes, but most fixes were temporary. Full rebuilds or replacements run $4,000 to $7,000. And class action suits allege General Motors knew about the flaws for years. For multi-generation Chevy loyalists, the heartbreak is real. Families who once traded in their trucks every 5 years now walk away, convinced that the badge means nothing if the drivetrain will not last. The result is a resale collapse, with used Chevrolets discounted deep below their rivals. And a brand that once stood for American reliability now faces a crisis of confidence it may never recover from. In 2026, a car's badge means less than its track record. As buyers reject empty promises, brands betting on loyalty over quality face extinction. The lesson is clear. Transparency and reliability drive trust, and in today's market, trust is the only currency that holds its value. Share your thoughts below.